Hey everybody, welcome back to my Stamperia Vagabond album. This is a project that I'm doing for Scrap and Create, and there is a link down below where you can get your supplies. There's also a cutting guide for this album, also linked down below. And if you've not been keeping up, we have finished our pages, got them all matted, and now we're going to put them in the cover. Now the cover, all the measurements are in the cutting guide, and I put mine together already, and I used the instructions in my Construction Basics playlist for the cover with contrasting spine. Now you don't have to do that. You can use just a regular, all the same paper. I did use the Kraft, and then I had this in my stash. It's just a paper that looks like leather. So that's what I used. I don't know how much of any of this will be seen once we decorate the cover, but I thought it went well. And I've already put my hinge in, and the measurements for all that are, again, in the cutting guide. So I like to start from the back. We're going to get going putting our pages in. I haven't rematted that envelope that I put the card on upside down yet. Okay. I'm just working these a little bit. The more you do, the more flexible they'll be, and the easier your pages will turn. So when you put these on, you do not want to put them all the way down to the cover. Leave about a 1/16 of an inch, even up to an 1/8 of an inch, depending how thick your pages are. So I am just putting this on first to get a fit test, and that looks good. And I am just going to pull it back. There we go. Pull back a little bit of the tape. Looks like I had some tape stuck over there. Whoop. Down. Sorry, so I'm going to waste the It's the weekend, kids are out of school. Here we go. And pull the tape out. There we go. And then one thing we want to do is just open it and give it a burnish there. Okay, and then we just want to reach up here with something pointy. Grab the other side of the tape. And, whoops, tore on me. Pull that off. And press. And there we go. One page down. Okay. And now one thing I did that you should not do, and I keep doing it, and I don't know why I keep doing it, because I know I don't need to do it, but I put a liner on the inside of my cover, but you really don't have to, because the hinge piece is going to cover anything that needs to be covered. So just to make your cover, I mention a liner, don't use a liner, you don't need it, just put your hinge over it. Okay. It's good. I love this page. I may have to do this one again. Check something. There we go. Let's get that back. Again, we're not going to put it all the way to the bottom. Make sure it's lined up nicely with the one next to it. back of that tape. That will be all over that. Go. Okay. There's a lot of action happening on this, lots of flips and things. I want to make sure I'm getting the correct opening onto my hinge. And again, make sure it's lined up with one next to it. Okay, and this is our last, aka first page. Okay, there we go. Oh, test fit. Just because all the others fit doesn't mean this one will. And this one's... I've got a lot of flaps going on. So again, I want to make sure I get the right one in the book. And I do. Okay, there we go. Okay, looking good. Okay, so let's review. We need inside, front, and back covers. Of course, we have to decorate the covers themselves. We need to put something in here. We have 4 side pocket inserts, and then of course all of our various pockets need things. And I need to fix this envelope that I still can't believe I did upside down. Things for the pockets. And then this, we have to decide if we want to put anything on some of these or just leave them as is for photos. And of course our closure. Okay, we've got a bit to do. All right, I'm going to take a pause, gather some things for the inside covers, and we will continue. And when I have a book that's new or cover that's new, I like to close it and just put a little weight on it, just to get it used to being that way. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Okay, I am back. I have things. This is for the inside back cover. Let me set these aside. This is going to be a waterfall. And I have picked this for the inside back cover lining page. A lot of this is going to be covered by that waterfall, but not all of it. So, okay. So So I want to go ahead and put this in, and I'm just checking it for fit. It looks like it might be a little tall. Oh, I think that's just the light. Hang on. It is, I think it's just a hair tall. I'm going to trim a little bit. Okay. That's better. Okay, I'll go ahead and ink that. I don't know if I've mentioned recently, I'm using walnut stain for the ink, distress ink. Okay, there we go. So I'll leave it where it is. I'll get this down. I just want to make sure that I have about equal amounts along this edge and the top and the bottom. Okay, there we go. Careful, it's right side up. I've had enough of upside down things in this book. One was enough, which I haven't fixed that yet. Okay, so what we want to do, and I have another piece, actually two pieces that I have to cut that I haven't cut yet. Just because I was dithering. So I like to make my waterfalls on a base. So I have the base here. I'm going to put together this waterfall. It's going to sit here, right in the middle. And then I'm going to I was thinking of putting a ribbon closure that you tie. And then I was thinking maybe a paper closure. I'm dithering. I think I'm going to go with the seam binding because there'll be other seam binding in this book, even though we haven't used it yet. On the on the tags. Sorry if my lights are kind of weird. Okay, let me set that aside. Let's make the waterfall on the base, and then I will grab some seam binding because I think I only have white, and I'm sure I'm going to want to use black or something like that. Okay, so for the base, I have a piece 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. This is all be in your cutting guide. This is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. I've gone ahead and matted. This one, which is going to be the top one, I used one of the cut-aparts that looks like the front of a book, and I triple matted it because it wasn't big enough to go on its own. And then the rest are just pieces that I picked out. And I just want to double check, and I'll have to add another piece for the base, but I haven't picked that out. I'm just deciding the order that I want these to go in. I know this is going to be top. Yeah, that's going to be the order. Okay. All right, so starting with the top one, you have your 6, this is 6 1/4, this is 6 1/2, okay? So we're just going to put this right along the edge of the base. Just like that. I didn't burnish some of these. Then you're going to open this up. This one is going to go right up against the end of the tab right here. This is like the little lip of that tab. Okay. And when you're doing this, you can turn it. You want to make sure that not only is it lined up here, but it's lined up here, because you want it to be even along this side. If you have to fudge it a little here, that's fine. Don't make it crooked on the edge. I'm picking it up to make sure that I don't. Okay. So all I've stuck down is that one little corner, making sure it's lined up there. And if it's off here, I'm okay with that. Because we're going to put a mat there anyway. We can make it look straight. But if this is crooked, it's crooked. Okay. Here we go. And I didn't pick out a mat for this one yet because I have to cut it. So I'm pretty sure I have to put it back in the book, but I think we have to trim these even, like the base one. Normally I leave the base one sticking out as though it was another flap, but this book is not that wide and I don't think it's going to fit. So I think I have to trim that off. So I check it for fit. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim that off. I knew I would. I always make my base just a little long anyway, so I can trim it to be perfect. And see, if I trimmed it to the edge of the book, a little would be showing. I don't want that. I'm just going to trim it so it's even with that. Okay, so that is, how much do I have to take off? Should be about ½ inch. See, and that's why you want to wait till the end, because it's more like 7/16, something like that. Okay. And I think what I'm do, I'm just going to take my scissors because I want to be sure that I'm doing that. My lights are so bad tonight. Hold on, bring lights in closer. That might be in frame, but at least it'll be better light for you and for me. Okay. So I'm just going to make a little snip. And that way, when I put it in here, probably should have put the snip on the other end, but that's all right. I'm just going to line that up. I'm going to bring it near me, sorry. Just a little bit more. I'd rather sneak up on it than cut it too much. Yikes. Perfect. Okay, anyway, so we still have to pick out all the inside mats, which I've done, and this mat, but we can put it in the book. However, I need the seam lining. And like I said, the only one I know that I have handy is white, and I don't want white. Hang on. Okay, I don't have brown, so well, this is that black? Is that navy? Black and navy. One of them is black, one of them is navy. We're gonna make some. Just want to make sure I have a piece that's long enough for us to tie a bow. I'm sure this will be long enough. Okay. And I'm gonna grab a scrap. It's not really a scrap. This is actually really good printer paper, but it's kind of damaged. Looks like my cat got at it. Okay. I'm going Ouch, there's all kinds of ways you can do this. Hang on, put a pin in my glue. But I am just going to use my Distress ink as is. You can wet it if you want. This is not going to make brown, but it is going to make like a sort of a distressed tan kind of color. See? I thought about doing a chain closure on this waterfall, but I had two worries about it. One, that the chain would eventually damage the paper and tear it, and the other, that it might add too much bulk inside the book. But we are doing a chain closure, as you already know, because you've seen the finished book, on the outside. Okay, and that's something we need to take into consideration when designing it, but the chain is going to go right through this back piece on this waterfall, and that's why I haven't actually matted it, to be truthful. Although I still need to mat it before I put the hole in for the chain. Okay, so let's just tie this. Get an idea of exactly how long I need. Yeah, that's a good color. I've got ink all over my hands, I'm sure. Not too bad. We don't have to be exact. I just want to make sure I have approximately the right length, because I can trim it after, but this is not a fancy kind of book, so all right, this is going to be, actually that's way longer than I need. Let me just make this a little smaller. There we go. I've got two pairs of these scissors. One of them's pretty good, the other one's so dull, and this is the dull one. Let me swap them out. These are the good ones. Okay. So what we need to do is turn it over. Put a piece of tape across the back in the center. All right, so this is, that's sticking out there a little bit. Okay. Got a little thing sticking out there I might need to trim, but I don't think so. I don't think it'll show. I'll put them into it. Hang on. Okay, top to bottom. So I'm doing this measurement. Yeah. Okay. So this is 6 1/4. So that's 3 1/8 is the center. I'm mostly eyeballing it. I'm just checking to make sure I'm reasonably straight with it. And reasonably centered. Okay. And then you want to take the middle of the ribbon and put it below the tape, like that. And then usually once I've got part of it down, I tape it closer to the edge. And we'll tie it. And this will lay flatter when you have the full weight of all the mats in it. I'm just going to do Kraft for the inside mats. Okay, so there's that. Then we have to attach this in here. And it is, what I'm doing is putting it right up against the left edge of the mat, and that leaves this little bit. I'm thinking, wonder if I want to move it, because I need to get that grommet in. I think maybe what I'll do is put the grommet in now, because if a little bit of this covers over where the grommet is, it's no big deal. Let's do that grommet, or at least, yeah, let's do the grommet. Find the tool. Okay. So we want this. We need to center the grommet. And I have lost my pencil. I do not know what I did with my pencil. I have another one, but okay. So this is 8.5. So it needs to be 4 1/4. And then in as little as possible. I can make an orange dot, it won't be noticed. I mean, I have to leave room for the grommet, but I don't want to go in too far. Good. And the last time I punched one of these is stuck in there. Okay. Right, I'm going to bring this over where I can see it. Okay, right there. Now I need to find my grommets. Here they are. And we definitely want something. Oh, you know what? I haven't done the back. I have to put something on the back and then re-punch that hole. Okay, hang on a second. And I had this piece set aside, thinking that I would put it there. So we hadn't used it yet. Let me see, just in case there's something I like better. But I do like that. The other one I was thinking of was this one. I think I'll do that one. So I'll glue this down, then I'll re-punch that. So I'm not gonna cover, I don't think. Do I want to cover no. I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna leave that, and then we'll maybe do something decorative there. But I don't need to worry about that at this point. So this has got to be I'm going to cut it 4 3/4. That might be too wide, but we'll start with that. 4 3/4 by 8 3/8. These papers come in a pad, and one edge always has a tiny little bit of glue, and you want to cut that off. Okay, and what did I say I was going to cut this? and 3/4. Okay. So 4 3/4 by 8 3/8. check that for size. That is actually pretty good. Okay. Let me get that inked and down, and then we'll redo that grommet. We could punch the grommet through all the layers. I'm just not sure I want to go through that many layers. I did one. But no matter what we do, this mat has to be down first. Okay. Hang on. I'm just noticing this cutter. I left a weird little bit hanging. I really have to solve my cutter situation. I'm just not, I mean, I've heard good things about several different cutters, but I just don't want to make the investment right now. They're expensive. Okay. Hang on. Okay, that's the top. Okay. Just want to make sure I was putting it down straight. Okay. So let's think about this. Where's our waterfall? Here it is. Decide the best way to go about this grommet situation. So this is going to go there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put the grommet in without this because it's just going to brush up against the edge of it. So it's not, I don't need to go through it. So let me re-punch this. Sorry. Then we want to put in our grommet. And let's see, what color do we want? I think we want this kind of rusty brown one. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. There. Glad I caught that before I did something terrible, like forgot it. Well, it would have been terrible. I just would have had to do a different kind of closure, which I didn't want to do. Okay, now we have to put this in. And yeah, that's going to be just fine. And I think what I want to use, I'm going to put score tape around the perimeter and then use art glitter glue in the middle. Because I wanted to just, once I put it down, I want to hang on right away. But I don't want to use like boatloads of score tape either. So that should solve that. And I may put some score tape across the middle as well. Just because it's bowed from the bulk and it'll flatten out, of course, once it's glued in and everything, but I don't want it to have a chance to lift up while waiting for glue to dry. Eeks. Okay, and just gonna do some diagonal stripes. I have found with the waterfalls, it's just easiest to one and done. Take all the backing off all the tape, add all your glue, and then put it down. It's one of those things, you just gotta have the courage in your convictions. Once you've decided it's where it's going, just drop it. Watch, I'm gonna put this down and it's gonna be crooked. What do you want of it? Come on. It does not want to come up. Finally, there we go. I need to, I think I need to get a humidifier. It is so dry in this house. My skin is getting so dry. Okay. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is tuck the ends of this ribbon in so that I don't accidentally glue them somewhere. Like that. Whoa. Speaking of dropping it, then I am going to add glue all over the back. This will give us a few seconds to fool with it before the tape kicks in, and it will also hold it in the areas where I don't have tape. All right. Make sure it's right side up. Okay, and you know, whoops, the tape, the seam binding, yikes, is centered just about on that grommet, just like that. All right, now untie it, go to the base. Let's stick it a little bit, that's all right. To tell you, I was feeling a little bad about using, you know, a lot of the 8x8 and the 12x12 because, I mean, not for me because I have the paper and I'm happy to use it, but, you know, because you'd have to buy both if you hadn't already to make this. But honestly, I thought I'd have a lot left over, and then I'd be like, oh, you're cutting apart these pads and you're going to have so much left over. I'm not going to have very much left over, I'm telling you that. Of all 4 pads that we cut, we shouldn't have very much left by the time we're done. So you'll be using it. I'm just trimming the ends. They're still a little long, but okay. Nice. All right. And we'll get back to that to do the inside. And I still have to fix that stupid envelope. So mad at myself over that envelope. Okay, and then we need to do the inside front cover. We need a piece. Should we do that now? Might as well, huh? A lot of the inside finished. Shall we use the same piece? And kind of, yeah, why don't we? Bookend it, huh? Does it go with her? Or is it going to detract too much from her and him? Yeah, that's the only thing. If I put that there, it does kind of detract. I think I need something less in your face. What about the London one that we were looking at? It's not as much color. That's better, and it goes better with her with the little hint of blue. And I think I should use this side of it. Anyway, the same situation here, but I can mat these inside and out, but I don't have the out, but I can mat the inside without it being a problem because I need the I need a grommet here as well. Right, how wide did I cut that? 4 and oh, that's right, I went over. Okay, duh. Okay, 6 1/4. Does that make sense? 6. Yep, 6 1/4 by 8 3/8, right? Yep, 6 1/4 by 8 3/8. And let's ink. Ooh. I want to make sure the corners are especially well inked. Okay. Right, just put that over there where I can get a good look at it. Good. So I still need the front. Now the front cover, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to collage, although I have a piece, a big piece that I saved with a 12 by 12 that I might use, but I think we're going to do some stuff on the cover, so I don't know how much of whatever we put down is even going to be visible. Except for the inside of that waterfall, we have matted all of the inside of this book. And I'll probably do that inside of that waterfall off camera and just show it to you. There's only so much gluing down of mats that can be interesting. All right. That looks good. Okay. So I think that we are at a good stopping place. And next time we will work on our cover. I will have matted this. I should have fixed this by then because I can't stand looking at it, so I need to fix it. And we may finish up next time unless I do the closure in a separate video because those take a little time. All right, that is that. Where's my closure? My thing here. Pin for my glue. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember, this is a design project for Scrap and Create, which is where I get all my Stamperia I have for years. Jolly's joining in to talk about it. There's a link down below, and I will have that there. There's also a link to the cutting guide. And I guess that is it. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps my channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.